this one's going to be triggering for people. It will. It will. Okay. Alright. So, there's something about my path, my journey, that, I'm not necessarily, like, secretive about. Everyone in my life knows, about it, because I'm compulsively honest, and open, and, yeah. But I know that, like, saying it publicly, there's gonna be, like, backlash, and I'm like, that's only because people don't understand, and I'm like, well, I can explain from my perspective, and some people are gonna get it, and some people are not. Some people are gonna look for reasons to hate when it's not really necessary. But that's just what people do, and it depends on what part of their journey they're at, I suppose. It depends on what they've personally gone through and what wounds they haven't healed yet. And I know that other people's response to things isn't about me. It's about them and what they're going through. So I'm gonna try not to let, like, fear of being misunderstood by random people that I don't even know stop me from being honest and telling my story. So here goes, I guess. So, controversial topic. Pedophiles. So, when you hear that word, if your mind automatically jumps to sex offender, child sex offender, that is not the same thing. Okay, and let me just explain what I mean by that. Technically, if you get down to it, we're talking about the meaning of words here, and the definition of a pedophile is someone who has an attraction to children, but and I suppose because there's not that much, like, clarification around the fact that there's different attraction. There's, like, love attraction, and then there's sexual attraction. So I don't really know if it's just about sexual attraction or if it was about love attraction, because yeah. But the thing is that these people, these pedophiles, they can choose, obviously, whether or not they're going to act on the thoughts, desires, and stuff they have, right? So you're a pedophile whether you act on them or not, right? So that's not something that people can really control. If you're attracted to whoever you're attracted to, right? But so my story is about I think I realized that the definition, I'm pretty sure, I think, is just like an exclusive attraction to children, which is not what's going on with me. That's not what's going on with me. I'm attracted to, well, I want to sleep with some dude in his 60s. Like, age isn't a thing for me, in either direction. But, in saying that, let me explain how I figured out all of this, okay? Don't hate me yet. Finish the video, okay? Fuck. Alright, so when I was 17, I started doing this course, it was a childcare course. So I did that. I did all of the theory stuff. So it was super fucking easy. It was all really easy. And then when it came time to do prac, yeah, I went to go do the prac. And sorry, I gotta turn notifications off next time. I can't be fucking else. you're gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, when I went to prac, there was this boy in one of the classes that I was in. He was like 4 or 5 or something. But he kept saying that he loved me, and I got huge butterflies. I got huge butterflies when I saw him, and I wasn't coping at all with the fact that I was having these feelings. It was fucking with my head so much. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What does this mean? What does this mean about me? What is this? What's gonna happen? Like, what do you mean? Yeah. So, because I was not coping with that, I kind of stopped going to the daycare for the prac. I needed some time. I needed to process what the fuck was happening in me. But that's the thing, on the last day that I was there, no, I ended up having a break for way too long, and they were like, you can't come back now. You missed it. Can't complete the course. And I'm like, okay, I accept this. That is fine, I suppose. But the last day that I was there, I came in to work, so excited to see him. But that day, he called me a poopy head, and I cried so hard. I was so devastated that he was calling me a poopy head. I was so sad. I was like, he doesn't like me anymore. And it took me a few years after that before I realized that that was a child altar inside me. That was one of my child versions of myself that was having a crush on this boy. It wasn't like adult parts of me, but there's still like this confusion because like my body was 17 at the time, so I'm like, does that mean that there's a 17-year-old in me who feels that way, where technically a 17-year-old is still a kid, but no. But no, right? Yeah, so it took me a few years to like forgive myself for even having those feelings, because now I realize, oh, it was a part of me that was like the same age as him that felt that way. And that is not to say that I think that it's okay for me in an adult body to follow through with anything, because that's not a thing. It's not a thing. So, I mean, when I was a kid, I was obviously sexually abused by someone. I know my brother was doing stuff to me when I was 8, but I was doing stuff with my female friends earlier than that, and I'm not sure where I learned it. And there's this stuff about the babysitter that could be a thing, but honestly, if I'm being completely honest, there's been a whole lot of breadcrumbs about it being my dad that was abusing me. So there's that. But anyway, moving on. After the childcare course, I tried to do a teacher's aid course. I just wanted to, because like that part of me went away and I was normal again. And I was like, okay, we need a job, we need to study. I'm great at communicating with kids just because I become a kid a lot of the time. So that's where that comes from. I can see from a child's perspective because I have a child's perspective a lot of the time. So, yeah. So I went to TAFE, I did the teacher's aid course, and they assigned me to kids around 5 or 6. So again, all of the work was easy and it's fine. But then when I went to go do the prac, I was there for a week or maybe a few days or something, and I didn't get any feelings for anyone. But the memory of that happening kept haunting me, and I kept being afraid that I would develop some feelings for someone. So I stopped going to that prac as well, and I failed that course as well, just because of fear that I would feel something. But then I'm like, I see all of this stuff in the news now about like childcare workers doing bad things, and I'm like, how could they do that? Like, when I thought that I was going into a line of work where I might even potentially like traumatize someone, I couldn't do it. How could people go into work knowing that they're going to like, I don't. So yeah. So when I was a kid, obviously someone abused me. And it made my life so fucking hard, because it changed the way that I see things. I assumed that all of my like fragmentation is because of trauma. I know that it's like an accumulation of trauma from multiple different lifetimes and from like genetics. I know that it's all of that as well, but I was always adamant that someone did something to me and made me the way that I am, and I struggle. I find life really fucking hard. You know? I mean, not when I'm following God and the universe and the guidance and the intuitive hits and all of the puzzle pieces and breadcrumbs. Like, life is so fun and exciting when you do that, and it takes you places that you didn't expect, and then you meet people that give you energy that you didn't expect, and you get information, and it's all fucking amazing. But I didn't expect that my path would lead me to ascension. I expected that my path would just be struggle the entire time, so I did not want that for anyone else. And even now, knowing that it's like led me to the point of going through an ascension journey, that's not. See, I've learned some things about myself throughout this whole thing. When I was younger, I tried to convince myself that if anything were to ever happen between me and someone underage, it would be because they approached me about it, and they were very adamant about it, and they seem to know exactly what they want, right? I don't see things that way anymore, because my son has been really creepy with me lately, and I've felt uncomfortable, and I've had to be like, no, this is not a thing. Like, he's 4 now, so, but, like, for instance, he sometimes, like, he tries to watch me get dressed or whatever. If he catches me, he will mention my boobs. Yesterday, he walked up to me and he just, like, reached up and was about to just fucking double grope me. And I was like, no, I have gropey trauma with my grandfather. And anyway, I feel like I'm being traumatized by my son trying to lift up my shirt, and that's right, he fucking just crawled up on my bed when I was trying to relax, and he groped the same dude that my granddad groped, and it was creepy, and it felt like he was being possessed, and I was like, what the fuck? And there was one time where he was trying to but it was the same day, it was the same time, it was within the same time frame, and he tried to he was like giving me raspberries on my belly and stuff, but then like when he did it, his energy was shifting, and he didn't feel like him anymore, and he felt like someone was controlling him, and I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this? And then he, I think it's like he like started to go lower, and I was like, no, like, what are you doing? And then he like crawled up and groped me, and then I freaked out a little bit, and I was like, I don't want, like, what are you doing? And I realized that I was wrong the whole time, even if the child would try something with me, I wouldn't feel comfortable with it, and I would stop it and push it away, and I was just like, what the fuck? But you know the creepiest part about that time? Right after that, he crawled up to me and he whispered in my ear, I'm your sister. And my sister I've been getting all of these messages saying that my sister's been using all this dark magic or something, and trying to twist everything against me, and doing these rituals and stuff, and trying to like put cursed items and stuff in with all of my belongings because it was at the house that she was in. Like all of this random crazy shit, right? And the fact that I thought that I felt like he was being controlled, and then he whispered, I'm your sister, to me. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what the actual fuck? Okay, what the actual fuck? Yep. So that's that. So that's the opposite kind of child sexual abuse. Now I feel traumatized. But that means that my sister is trying to fucking manipulate things spiritually to, I don't know, to turn me into what she's telling everyone that I already am. I don't know. It's gross and I don't like it. So yeah. Living with the knowledge that I feel that attraction that I sometimes just can't control, and it fucks with my head, knowing that I can't act on it, and apparently I don't want to. I definitely know I don't want to be with my own children, that's the thing. Because I've been traumatized by the mere notion of it. It's really hard to know that that's just what happens in your brain naturally, and people hate you for it, and you can't help it, and you don't even like it, and, you know, I just hate all of the calls to violence against pedophiles when we don't all fucking do shit. Then again, if it's exclusive attraction, then that's not it. You know what I mean? So I get triggered when people talk about like hunting down all the fucking pedos and killing them and stuff, and I'm like, do you know how much these people struggle within their own minds with themselves? Do you know how much they would have to, do you know how much shame there would be? Do you know how much they would have to hide about themselves from everyone just to feel accepted? Do you know, like, it's not a path that you choose, and it's not an easy one either. So it kind of like breaks my heart knowing that there are other people out there similar to me that can't control that feeling but can control their actions, but they're still hated even though they have top tier self-control.